Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Torrez Finney. Thank you for joining me, sir.
How you doing today, brother? Thank you for having me on the show.
My pleasure. I know about you. I know about your UFC, the contender series, the two fights and everything. For the people that don't know, could you introduce your career?
Yes, my name is Torrez Finney. Look, I've been coming up since 2020. I started in June of 2020. Started training MMA. Had my first amateur MMA fight in October of 2020, and yeah, man, it's been a blessing ever since. It was on a really fun journey. Just been staying active, man. I stay active from that time all the way up till literally like right after my UFC debut. Obviously the activity slowed down, but I always wanted to stay active. I always want to be out there, and yeah, man, it's just been a blessing. It's been a journey, and I've really enjoyed it. Yes, first time ever on the contender series 3 times. Um, Winning 3 times, not just on it, but winning. That's one of the biggest, my big thing about it. And then also, just going through the grind uh, of on and off throughout my entire career. Now here, currently we're here in Vegas because DC's coaching on Ultimate Fighter, but now that I'm now a part of the academy, the Fight Club here in in Gilroy, California. A part of Daniel Cormier's team.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's just been a fun ride. One of the most viral knockouts of the year in 2024. So yeah, I've had some fun. I've had some fun, and we're gonna continue to have a lot more fun. Absolutely.
I saw that you were a contender series 3 times. You won 3 times. How did you not get in the 2 times before that?
Well, the first time I won, I beat a Russian named Yuri Pafarov. I beat him. He was 6-0, six first round finishes. I beat him in the second round in rear naked choke. Uh, Honestly, I thought I should have got it off that one personally. But Dana was he felt like I needed some more experience. Go out and grow. Long story short, went on the regional scenes. That's when I had the big knockout. Got right back on the show. Um, Fought Cam Ralston, who's also fighting this weekend. Good luck to him. Beat him by decision. He felt uh, I fought better last year than this year, and then opportunity comes up. Somebody falls out. The first person they call is me. They say, "Hey, you want to come back and try and make a shot at history? It's never been done before." I say, "Hey, why not?" And I come back and I get a first round finish TKO, and I finally get my contract. I don't understand necessarily. I understand it's a business, and I understand how this works. Obviously, it's the entertainment business. You got to do things. You got to do what you got to do to get out there and show them why they need to sign you. I definitely felt I always had the skill set, but it just felt that you know you got to impress the matchmakers and the things ahead, and and they're right. You got to do what you got to do for the business. So yeah, I eventually got my way of getting my contract in that sorts.
Uh, your first UFC fight you won. The second one you lost by unanimous decision. How are you gonna bounce back for that? The loss.
Oh, absolutely going to bounce back. The thing about that for me, um, yes, it is a loss. No
Yeah.
excuse on that. But I tore my ACL in the first 15 seconds. My entire knee exploded. Tore my ACL and both of my meniscus, and I was still able to finish the rest of the fight. And I couldn't do anything that we game planned for. I couldn't grapple. Obviously, I'm heavy on grappling. I would have taken him down easily. I felt him throughout the fight, and I'm like, wow. I just couldn't step on him. The doctor was saying that the fact that I was able to complete the fight, it was crazy because I had bone on bone, and anybody knows anything about injuries, bone on bone is one of the most excruciating pains you can possibly be in. And I surely was in a lot of pain. I was in a lot of pain. But I finished it. I don't have that quit in me. So get healthy. And I had surgery 11 weeks ago. Today exactly 11 weeks. And I'm going to get back and currently here in Vegas doing the rehab at the UFC PI. So it'll be some time before I get back along, a good bit of time. But when I come back, absolutely, I'm going to bounce back and I'm going to showcase the reason why that fight was as much as a fluke as much as the injury. Because without that injury, I am 100% confident I win that fight.
Oh, we saw Carlos Ulberg. That happened to him too. I think he tore his ACL against Yuri
Yes,
Prochazka.
he tore his ACL. He's actually here, the PI as well. We're doing the rehabs together. Absolutely. Yeah, he just tore his ACL, which is still obviously really bad. But I tore ACL and both of my meniscus. That's where the knee is already bad, cutting sideways, but you lose complete stability when you tear those. So then look, also a lot of respect to him for being able to still finish that fight against Yuri. That's really tough. And then you have some other people, some comparisons. Some people, the Aspinall, he tore his ACL, meniscus, and MCL. Like it's tough, but the injury is different for every person, because it just depends on how your knee is able to combat that stuff. I was blessed to have really big thighs, strong, a lot of muscles in my legs. So, I was able to be able to push through some of that, even though I was in a whole lot of pain. But some people, are built differently. So that injury is always different for every person.
Was there a moment in there where you thought about quitting, like because of the pain?
Yeah. I mean, it happened in the first round. Literally in the first 15 seconds of the fight. So when I went to the corner, I set my knee. And I thought about, like, man, like I can barely walk. Uh, my knee is in so much pain. But it just crossed my mind. In that minute, so many things go through your head. And I said to myself, I was like, if I don't get up off this stool, you have to live the rest of your life not knowing what could have possibly happened in round 2 and 3. And I didn't want to know I didn't want to live that way. So I wanted to go out there and continue to keep fighting.
You fight you fight 185. I'm like 215. You look way bigger than me. You know what I mean? How do you feel
Oh,
about
man.
that, man? Are you
Man, the weight cut's been going always been going really well, man. We get on a diet now. Look, and be honest, since I've had the surgery and things, currently not around that area at all. About like 230, 235 right now. But when I'm cutting weight in a camp and get my weight down around 215, in between 215 and 220, I walk out of camp around 220. Um, and yes, I've heard all the people, oh, you should drop to 170. But I've already have went through that. I've already have went through the testing at the PI, all the different things. And when I was weighing 221, my body fat percentage was at 12%. So they said the chances of me dropping to 170 is zero. I'm very dense. I'm just a very dense individual. Um, and I don't even work out the way like I used to work out. I used to work out, like, obviously a lot when I played college football, but I still work out, but I don't work out like that. So people, oh, you eat all that muscle. This is just muscle from freaking football. I don't even work out that way. I work more like, obviously, things for fighting. I don't even lift heavy weights anymore, but it's just the way my body is built. So yeah, man. But the cut's been going really well. Once I get into that phase, that water load, hey man, I'm able to drop them pounds off pretty well. They get a little tough towards the end. Don't get me wrong. Them final 5-6 pounds, woo! But I'm always able to come through.
How does it feel training with DC? What have you learned?
It's been a blessing, man. He's so cool, man. He's so cool. He's straightforward. He takes care of. He's like a big uncle, man. And he's helped grow my game. My game has gotten so much better. That's just been the thing with me about the last fight. Is man, I wanted to showcase so much of what I have got so much better at, and I just couldn't showcase any of it because my knee popped. So, like, it is what it is. But that's the reason why the next fight is gonna be so much sweetness and so much joy for me. Is I can't wait to showcase what I've gotten so much better at. I feel like I've grown as a fighter and become even more as a complete fighter. So that's why I'm excited for that next upcoming fight, whenever that day is.
The transition between football to MMA, was that easier for you? Because from personal experience, like when I've trained soccer before and I trained MMA, if I trained MMA when I was younger, I wouldn't want to do MMA. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
because it's like I don't know how to explain it because the cardio is easier now. MMA seems easier. Is
No,
that
you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. Going into a different sport obviously is something in a different world. Me transitioning over from college football, I think that was a blessing for me because I also had offers to wrestle in college, and I honestly was going, would have done that, but for me, it was more of I'm from the South, so the South here in the States, U.S. We're that's just something that we do. Football is king where I'm from. So growing up, I always wanted to play college football, and got a chance to do that on the Division I level. At University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. So that was really fun. Got a chance to have some great memories, and then after that journey for me, I felt like I still had more to prove as an athlete. I still had felt like I still had more in the tank athletically to do than just to give it all up, and I got into fighting. At first, I started out boxing for a few months, and then I went into MMA. Some friends told me to come to an MMA gym, and I got into it, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions for my life ever. So um, I'm really glad that I have found MMA. And you're right. So like, I could say, what if I did wrestle in college? My wrestling is still one of my bread and butters, even without wrestling in college. But it's it's uh it's one of those things. Some college wrestlers get burnt out. So the college wrestling, in a way, is a little bit close to MMA. Probably not as much of the grind, but then you're throwing in the striking, and you still got to train. So I think maybe that part of that grind could have burnt me out from not wanting to do MMA. I don't know. Maybe not. But I am glad I did football. Helps with my explosiveness, helps with my strength. Football. That journey at UTC taught me a lot of things and showed me a lot of different things that I can do and helped me push me towards my MMA career.
what's something fans don't know about you?
What's something fans don't know about me? Uh, I'm a kid at heart. Big into superhero stuff. A lot of fans do know I'm a big WWE fan, and after every fight I do the "if you can smell" thing from The Rock. So I am a huge WWE fan. Love games, video games. Big into superhero. Just the Invincible ended last week. Love Invincible. Currently on The Boys. The Boys new episode just came out. Like I'm just always watching stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm always into gaming stuff. So that's probably one of the things about me. Like having fun, and I like to eat. So food is one of my favorite things to do as well.
Yeah, mine too. But the would you go to the WWE if you get high enough in your career in UFC?
Absolutely.
Is that the
So
goal?
that's actually has been the dream of mine for a very, very long time. You know, um, growing up. So I tell this to anybody, right? Growing up, I never watched MMA. I didn't know what MMA was until like high school, and even then, I still didn't watch it. I didn't watch it really until McGregor was starting to push up into the scene, because one of the first ever fight cards I ever watched was when McGregor fought Nate Diaz the second time. That was the
Yeah.
first whole entire fight card I ever watched, and I was like, oh man, it's pretty neat. And as time would continue to go on, I was like, man, the way they're wrestling, I feel like I can do some of that stuff. You know, I was one of those couch guys that was like, oh, that wrestling stuff ain't that good, not knowing how much jujitsu played a part into it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't wrong, because I walked in and my wrestling was pretty much really good compared to a lot of those guys. But I still had to get my jiu-jitsu up to par. But for me, we used to, growing up with all my cousins, we'd be on the trampoline doing all the wrestling moves to each other, making the entrances, having the microphone, doing all the talking. I think that's why I'm really good on the mic. Those type of things for me has always been something that I felt like I've been able to transition over to my MMA career. So it's been a blessing for me, like being able to transition the WWE over to my MMA career in ways of what I used to do on the trampoline that I can actually do in the UFC. But to be able to go and do it all together in the
Yeah.
WWE, that'll be epic. That surely would be a dream of mine. Absolutely.
Having a college football background and then UFC and then WWE, you'd be a full package.
Yeah, oh man, that would be awesome, man. Hey, not many can say they do it. I know, obviously, Brock Lesnar. He didn't play college. He played the NFL. He went straight to the NFL. That's the only one I wouldn't have. But
Brock Lesnar went to
they,
the NFL.
he played in an NFL camp. Yes, for the Minnesota Vikings. Short
Oh,
notice. He was on the Vikings for like I want to say about 7-8 weeks,
yeah.
nearly 2 months, and then they cut him. hmm
Last
Never
question.
played football in his life.
Who? Brock Lesnar before he
Yeah,
went
he
to
had
the.
never. Yeah, went to the NFL. Never played football in his life. Yep.
Oh man, it's just because he was 260.
Probably because that. Probably because he was big.
Well, you
Absolutely. More than 260.
well, you're 232. You just need to put on 30 more pounds, and you could probably do it.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Hey man, with these knees, I'm not at this
Yeah,
point.
that's true. That's true. Last question: where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself as being a ranked contender. Absolutely, going in for the title, if not already have it. I'm a realist, man, and I've competed with a lot of the guys that are currently ranked. Some of the guys that competing for titles, former legends. I Some of the top prospects down. I've seen myself go with a lot of guys, and I know how good I am, and I know what level I'm on. For me, for a lot of people said the last fight showed my toughness. I felt like I had already shown my toughness throughout all those times I was on contender series. I felt like my toughness was shown. Um, Now you're seeing all these guys that I beat. They all come back and win. Yuri came back and won a contender series. Cam Ralston's killed in UFC. Robert Valentin just got a win. Like everybody I beat, at the time I didn't get the credit for beating those guys. Now
Yeah.
those guys are winning. Now like, oh man, he must be pretty good. But for me, it's just I know how good I am, and I know what level I am on, and I know I am slowly increasing my talents all the time and every day. And now this injury is going to give me time to be able to really just divulge even more into the camp because I had only been training with DC for about 5 months. Like I said, I was so excited to showcase what I've gotten so much better at. But that time will come, and I know with my experience and time, toughness, growth, I'm gonna come back as a really dangerous fighter. And I don't just say that just to say that, but I say that because I know for a fact. I'm confident into that. I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna be a problem. I might be short. Some people might think it's a disadvantage, but to me, it's my advantage. And God has given me these gifts for a reason, and I can't wait to show most of them to the world.
Thank you so much for joining me, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you very much for having me.